I'm almost out of beer. I don't know what to do about that. I guess, I mean, it's going to be a 10-minute episode, so I probably should not get another beer since this one is 12%.
No, you should. I read a bunch of studies, and it says you get over COVID faster if you just get wasted every night. Howdy, it's Thursday, December 30th, 2021, and this is Due for a Win, the Atlantic City Casino Biz podcast. I'm Kyle Eskin, joined, as always, by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
Nothing. Nothing's good. I have COVID, Kyle. What could possibly be good? I'm canceling my Atlantic City trip.
Has it been over 5 days since you tested positive? I think you probably don't, technically, by the CDC, have COVID, even though you sound like crap.
It has not been 5 days because I got a test and the lab lost my sample when I was highly symptomatic, and so it kicked everything back another 4 days. I feel fine, I just sound terrible. I'll explain that to everybody at the grocery store when I'm just hanging out. Like, no, I'm basing my 5 days on, the days before I actually tested positive. It's fine. Yes. It's fine.
Maskless at the grocery store.
Yes, maskless, and at the casino. So when I'm at, Empire City or whatever up here, and people are like, excuse me, sir, you sound like literal walking COVID, I'll just be like, no, 5 days, new rules, 5 days. Yeah. Don't ask when I actually got tested. So that's what's going on in my house. Christmas was canceled. All hopes for an Atlantic City trip that was supposed to happen, probably not happening. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later.
Well, my Christmas was great. Thank you for asking. Everything went well.
So what's good, Kyle? Since I have nothing good.
I mean, not too much down here. My kid's school is closed until MLK Day, so that's good.
It happens.
For no discernible reason that I can figure out, but it's neither here nor there. Well, I guess we can talk about, I don't know, what happened in 1864, unless you have yet more tales to regale us with.
No, I don't. I mean, it's not, I shouldn't complain because I'm mostly fine and my family's fine, so, people have had it way worse, obviously. Like the people on this Seagull Union ship in 1864. Wow, what a segue.
What a segue.
According to the Encyclopedia of Civil War Shipwrecks, which truly amazing that we have not referenced this before in the history segment.
I mean, we would if they were only a sponsor like USDeathandDestruction.com or whatever it was last week. The
Union ship Seagull came ashore on Brigantine Beach, which is not actually Atlantic City. It's fine. I'm going to go with that.
It's Atlantic City adjacent. Let me tell you, many times I've tried and failed to get to Harrah's and ended up in Brigantine.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Without a crew and full of water, it was had a cargo of oysters. So, I don't know. That's all the information I have on it. I can link to books.google.com with a segment that talks about the Seagull. Apparently, there were a lot of Civil War shipwrecks. So much as to warrant an encyclopedia of Civil War shipwrecks.
And we can all agree drowning is worse than COVID.
This got very dark very fast.
So I know you've been excited all week, maybe all 164 episodes to talk about what happened in 1964, Craig.
Yeah, this is like the big culmination, I think, of the history because it's such an important moment. It's something that always, still to this day, 57 years later, gets talked about as like a seminal moment in Atlantic City history. The Democratic National Convention of 1964 was held in Atlantic City. It was meant to showcase Atlantic City as a tourist destination. Obviously, everybody knew that Atlantic City was in decline at that point, but they were like, this is going to put us back on the map. It's going to be great. And instead, it was just a big showcase of how much the city had declined. All of the politicians and media people who came were expecting things like air conditioning, televisions, working phone systems. They did not get those things really in the hotels in Atlantic City. And to add insult to injury, there was just price gouging like crazy because all the hoteliers in Atlantic City were like, we're never going to see any of these people again. Let's just charge some crazy rates during the Democratic National Convention. So that's what happened. And naturally, when you piss off a bunch of media types, they're going to
and politicians, two people who are not known to hold a grudge at all.
Not known to hold a grudge and not known to stand up in front of a camera or give or go write stories in newspapers that are read far and wide, well beyond Atlantic City. So Atlantic City basically became a national joke out of the whole thing. There's a part in Boardwalk Empire that talks about this, the book Boardwalk Empire, where the author Nelson Johnson wrote that after the convention, major magazines and newspapers ridiculed Atlantic City whenever the chance presented itself, whether it was a snafu at the Miss America pageant, a weekend visitor who had been ripped off at a boardwalk auction, or a disgruntled elk, moose, tall cedar, or business person in town for a convention. It found its way onto the wire services. He goes on to talk about how, they would always include a little history of like how terrible Atlantic City is and talk about, how embarrassing the convention was. So this really gets credited with 10 years later pushing to, how to save Atlantic City being the gambling thing and that getting added to the ballot. So this is the start of really, I think in most people's mind, the impetus for allowing gambling in Atlantic City. So it's a big, big moment. It's certainly what people talk about as sort of the main peak of downtrodden Atlantic City. So we are at that point. What are your thoughts on the Democratic National Convention? Lyndon B. Johnson? Any thoughts on Lyndon B. Johnson?
Yes. Who was so unpopular he could not even run, or he dropped out of the race in 1968 for the primary as the sitting president. So yeah, I think everything went well.
So I'll link to a Philadelphia Inquirer article about it, and it makes kind of an interesting point that it really hurt Atlantic City that the convention itself was really boring. Like there was no drama in the Democratic National Convention. There was some possibility that Robert F. Kennedy would make a push, and that just sort of faded away and didn't happen. And so there was nothing else to talk about except for complaining about Atlantic City. So I thought that was kind of interesting and didn't get covered a whole lot. Or like not something that everybody really talks about. Obviously a big one, 1964, and something that still gets talked about a lot now as like a huge moment in Atlantic City history.
Yeah.
August of 1964. 2064.
2064. We will hopefully be in Atlantic City as 81-year-olds, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be like, episode, who knows? 166.
Oh. I'll be 81. You will only be a spry and nimble 80.
Yeah, unless it's after October.
Well, you said August.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Yeah, you're right. I'll only be 80. I'll still be playing like slow playing, single hand, $1.25 a spin.
You'll still be complaining that the
Wild
Wild West took away damn lumberjack beavers or something.
Yeah. I'll be complaining that the Wild Wild West took away animatronics, which I never actually saw except for the one prospect. I'll be like, back in the day, they had animatronics here, and I was never there, but I saw pictures. Yeah.
And by missed out, I mean you didn't miss out. If you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, you pretty much know how it was.
It's terrifying, but at the same time awesome.
They didn't have like a show like a Chuck E. Cheese, but...
it sounds so good. I'm sad that I'm sad that I missed out on that.
When are you going to go back to Atlantic City?
I still have a reservation at Hard Rock, January 7th to the 9th. And I didn't think that Hard Rock would let you see the rates anymore once you booked, but I ended up actually going on and trying to check the rates again, and I was able to get Friday comped, which I wasn't before.
Ooh.
So I even have a Friday comp, and I'm only paying for Saturday.
That's pretty good.
And much like Caesars, I called up because the Saturday had gone up, even though Friday had gone comped. And I was like, can you just add Friday comped without changing the Saturday? And they did. So this all sounds great, except that my family will now be celebrating Christmas in Maryland on January 8th instead of me celebrating my anniversary in Atlantic City on January 8th. So I don't know when I'm going back to Atlantic City, except it's disappointing. I know, it is terrible. I'm like putting my kids first here, which I feel like is commendable, but at the same time...
Let me tell you, if everyone in your family does not already have COVID, which I don't know their status, I don't know if you know this, but Maryland and DC are literally the COVID epicenter of the world, so I would write your plans in Maryland on the 8th in pencil.
Yeah, so that's part of why I haven't canceled the plans yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of things can go wrong. I did check later in January, like the 22nd weekend, the 29th weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I also have Friday comped at Hard Rock, which is weird because when you look at the calendar, it does not say comped, but then when you actually go to book it, it says comped. So we have that as a fallback, but I'm not canceling the hotel just yet. So I was very excited about that trip, but I'm also excited about having a Christmas morning and not having to wait another year for Christmas. I want gifts too. I'm like a child, basically.
That is true. I have met you, I can confirm.
Yeah. You get any good Atlantic City related stuff for Christmas?
Oh, I got a new watch. I'll show it to you next time I see you.
Nice.
But,
yeah,
we
that's
don't need to bore the listeners with watch talk. It's not why they're here. They're here for COVID talk.
Yeah, that's a separate podcast, the watch talk. Yeah. This is the COVID talk podcast.
That's right.
So that's that. Did you do any gambling lately? Did you go to the Horseshoe to catch the Omicrons?
So we were supposed to go to Horseshoe, as you know, on the 17th of December, but both of our kids were quite sick then with, as they call it in football terms, non-COVID illness, pretty much.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
We ended up having to cancel it. Oh, really? Yeah.
No, not the football term. I didn't know that there was such a thing as non-COVID illness going around.
Oh, yeah. No, there's definitely some non-COVID illness that was going around in my house. And so we still kind of inquired with my in-laws or whatever if they wanted to take my sick children. And they were like, absolutely not. So
no, thanks.
We did not go to the Horseshoe.
Oh, so you still haven't used your dinner?
Yeah, because we couldn't go to the Horseshoe and we were planning on it. But
you've got a month.
We'll do it next month. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hopefully.
So it is New Year's Eve right now as we record.
Mm-hmm.
We may get this episode up before
New Year's Eve
2022.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any resolutions for the year related to gambling? It was, I feel for you, not a great gambling year.
It was pretty bad in terms of just, win-loss, certainly. I mean, it's, I feel like the last, 3 years or so have been pretty bad. So, but.
Yeah, I mean, with a long hiatus in there because you didn't go during the peak.
I'd like to have an average luck year. I think that would be good.
Do you feel like you need to change anything about the way that you're gambling or the way you're going about it?
I think I'd like to play slightly more table games than I'm playing now. And I think the last couple trips I've made, I've started moving in that direction and it's been better for me. So try to cut back on video poker and I played almost no slots in our last trip. So I've cut back on that. So more table games.
Yeah, I really became a machine player almost exclusively.
Yeah, you're basically an exclusive machine player.
In the last year, which is funny because certainly 3 or 4 years ago, almost every trip I would come back and I would look and I would be, if not even on table games, very, very close and just way, way down on slots and video poker. Unless I hit a royal.
Right.
Right. So it's weird that I went that direction. I think part of that is that I've actually been going with less of a bankroll. And so just out of bankroll management, I've played more slots because my concern is, you go to a craps table and you can lose $300 in 15 minutes, like it's nothing. And then that really damages your bankroll for the entire trip. For me, with the way I'm low rolling right now. And the reason that I went that direction, I decided I would rather gamble less and focus on non-casino stuff. Except the weird end result is that I haven't gambled less. I've just played more machines. And so it hasn't worked the way I've wanted it to work. So I do want to go back to playing things like Pai-Gow Poker, Pai-Gow Tiles, brush up on my Pai-Gow Tile skills, and sort of go on the trips this year with more of a plan of okay, I'm not just going to be a machine player. It's not as fun, even if you and I are playing right next to each other at the same machine. That's just not as fun as playing tiles next to each other, right? So that's kind of my goal. I don't know how well I'll follow up on it, but that's my main resolution, I would say. How many times do you think we'll make it to Atlantic City in 2022?
So how many times did we go in 2021?
I think I went 3 times.
I'd set the over-under at 4.5, I guess.
It's pretty rare that we make 5 trips.
I don't think there's any chance we go below 4, though.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, 4 sounds about right.
So do you think it's more likely we do 3 than 5?
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine. Nope. You can't take it back. Over-under set at 4. $5. I have the over. You have the under. And if it's 4, it's a push.
Specifically for Atlantic City, though. And the reason I would say that the 3 is more likely is, what are the chances we end up at another gambling destination, whether that is...
So I had a question written down on my super secret private sheet, and it was going to be to hassle you during this episode about, you made me sign up to some calendar with 10 people on it to put in weekends, because you said we're definitely going to Vegas in the spring. So you tell me what the odds are, because you know about this.
Yeah, so this calendar was a brilliant idea of mine, where everybody in our friend group who might go to Vegas puts in what weekend they can't possibly do. And that way we can really narrow it down and basically say, okay, let's pin down Guy's trip to Vegas this weekend. And what that calendar has been used for instead is scheduling a trip with all of the families, wives, kids, etc., to Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Indeed.
So that was not the goal. I guess you would say it's a side benefit if you see it that way.
No comment.
It is taking up another weekend that could have been used for Vegas, just saying. It is 4-day weekend for me. Well, for my kids. Yeah, I was really optimistic. I was like, May, it's happening. There's no reason for it not to happen.
All I know is you were talking to me about it a lot, like 3 months ago, and I've heard nothing about it in the last 2 months, so.
Yeah. It just seems like it's pushing too close and we need so much advance notice for
I don't need very much advance notice.
Certain
just tell me
people who are traveling.
When it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, well, you can't get advance notice out of people now because of how unsettled everything is, I think. So,
and that's the problem. That's where I went from like very confident to very like not confident. What do you think? What are the odds that we end up in Vegas in 2022? I would have said over 50% like a month ago, and now I would say well under 50%.
I think the odds I make it to Vegas next year are maybe like 50-50.
Okay.
But there's some chance that I would go without you guys. So
yeah, you have other friends that gamble, which helps.
Right, yeah. Like I have friends that live in the area or whatever that I could visit out there, certainly.
So I think in the last episode of the year, or the first episode of the year of 2019, so before COVID started, I said one of my resolutions was to make it to more non-AC gambling destinations.
You went to Vegas that year, right? 2019? Yes, you did. You went to Vegas. I went to Macau in 2019.
Yeah, no, 2020. It was the end of, started, sure. So right before COVID.
Okay.
I was saying I wanted to go to Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods, and that obviously never happened because then 3 months later COVID happened.
If I were to go somewhere, sorry for cutting you off, but I think I would go to the Cherokee casinos in North Carolina if I was to make some trip somewhere. I think it's the most likely place for me.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's the opposite. For me, like Mohegan and Foxwoods is not that far. So it's, the North Carolina is way further for me.
I mean, they're both hella far for me, so.
Yeah.
And I think that out in the mountains of North Carolina is probably a lot prettier than Connecticut.
That's true.
No offense to our fans in Connecticut.
I had this, I was really into the idea of going up to Connecticut in 2020 before COVID. And now that COVID's happened and that I went on this long break without going to AC, I'm sort of back to like, well, why would I go to that when I like AC so much and want to do all this stuff in AC? And it still, to me, feels like there's stuff in AC that I want to do non-gambling wise that I haven't really done. I have now a renewed love for Golden Nugget. And just like, all I want to do is spend time at Golden Nugget and stay at Golden Nugget. I got an email from Golden Nugget today, and it was very weird. It was like, you've earned 2 entries to the contest. And I was like, yes. Sweet. When did I ever even gamble at Nugget? I was like, oh yeah, we did gamble at Golden Nugget.
I also got an email from the Nugget, and so it inspired me to log in and check my rates and everything, but I still have nothing from them. No rates, no offers, nothing.
I think they're very slow to update. But I did, inspired by our last trip to Golden Nugget, which the last episode titled Gallon of Scotch, because you got Johnny Walker Black, yes. the most Johnny Walker Black ever
a gallon of it
into a cup.
Into my body.
Bought a bottle of Johnny Walker Black to honor the occasion. The first bottle of scotch I've ever bought in my life, and we found out almost immediately that I overpaid. Thought I got a deal, but no.
And I was like, no, it's much cheaper than that.
It's a dirt cheap bottle. Yeah. Damn it.
You can, certainly I've seen Johnny Walker Black for $50 in places, but that's, not what you should be paying. Not that you paid that much, but yes.
No, the little price on the tag said 44 and there's on sale for 33. And I was like, yes, what a deal.
And I was like, I bought this for 25 before, so.
And then I immediately, within 2 seconds, found it locally for 28.
Yeah. For those $5 you'll never get back.
I know. Yeah. That's $5 I could use to pay you when we make it to Atlantic City 5 times in 2020.
Oh, that's true. We need to, hold on. I hope the people are ready for clicking.
What's going on here?
All right.
I can talk while you click.
Yes.
So one thing that happened, when COVID was just ravaging our family, it sounds bad to say that because, people did have real consequences to COVID. my wife was very sick and I was dealing with the kids. And she said at one point, you've earned a 2-night Atlantic City trip. And it's like, I want a 2-night Atlantic City trip. Will you remember this a month from now when I'm trying to book a 2-night Atlantic City trip?
I do have to say, like, so I have 2 weekends in February that are booked, one with you and one with my family. But other than that, I'm pretty free the next couple months, as far as I know.
Except for the Vegas trip that we have tentatively planned.
Yes, of course, except for that.
The real thing that's holding up the Vegas is that I'm just not earning win gems fast enough in win slots.
You need to get on that.
I know. What were you typing for? What's going on here?
I added our over
Okay.
number of times to AC to our gambling list, which
Perfect.
I've opened and I'm looking at right now for the first time ever. Let's see if we can resolve any of these right now. Ooh, so Trump Plaza demolished. That has actually happened. You get $1.
Yes! $1.
$5 and over under of Hard Rock making $375 million in 2022. What'd they make in 2021? Oh, they've already made $400 million in 2021, so that's an easy over, which means I should be winning $5. Unless COVID 2.0 happens or something.
Which, we are in the midst of COVID 2.0, so.
Ocean making $280 million. That's actually about what they've made through 11 months this year, so that's a bit closer, but you should take that.
And we're
the
watching
tenant at the Toll Brothers thing on the boardwalk, that will never happen.
Yeah. No.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't heard anything about that.
No.
Whatever.
Never.
Little
I get
lot
$6
there.
if Bally's is closed. Bally's is not going to be closed, unfortunately. So I will lose that bet.
What do I get? $1?
You'll get $4. But that's before episode 200, so we've got time.
Yeah, you have.
Craig gets $6 if Showboat's no longer owned by Bart Bladstein. Kyle gets $3 if it is. I think Bart Bladstein will still own the Showboat at episode 200, but we'll see.
So over a year away.
Oh, wait. This one's resolved. Craig gets $5 if Resorts comes in last in gaming revenue in 2020. Kyle gets $5 if Bally's comes in last. It was a push because Bally's got $200,000 more than Golden Nugget. So, but Resorts was way ahead of both of them. So I was more right, but didn't win anything.
My lack of faith in Resorts, that's terrible.
Craig gets $5 if Hard Rock comes in second place in gaming revenue in 2020, and they were in second by a huge margin behind first and ahead of third. So,
why did we think it would be anything else? I don't know.
So in 2019, it was very, very close between, like, Trop and Harrah's were right there.
Yeah.
Like, not far behind them at all. So,
my faith in the Hard Rock brand, they built a guitar hotel in Florida, and they're planning to build a guitar hotel on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yes, I have.
You
heard
can't
that.
beat
very
a
exciting.
guitar-shaped hotel. My son would love nothing more in the world than to see and stay in a guitar-shaped hotel.
Isaac certainly, when we went, enjoyed the giant guitar outside of the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
In Atlantic City. And the final bet that we made at episode 100 is if the Showboat Water Park is open by the end of 2022,
Okay.
I get $10. But unfortunately, it will never open, so you will get $1.
I love this. My favorite thing about these is the stakes are so low.
Yes.
Like there's no, and they're always just canceling each other out. It's like, I win $5, you win $5. Like there's just no money exchanging hands here ever.
Pretty much not.
I do still owe you a dinner.
Yes,
at the Hard
so
Rock.
what's owed, I'm not going to do this on air because everyone's going to think it's boring, but other than the ones we just said were resolved, you owe me a meal at Hard Rock, and then I owe you $5 because casinos did not close again before the end of 2020.
Yes. All right. Sweet $5. But there's no reason to even pay that $5 because it's all going to get washed out by other stuff happening.
Well, that was exciting. Before we get to this, I have one question on my private sheet for you.
Ooh, the private sheet. Let's hear it.
So in 2021, like what was, and you can answer this how you like, though, depending on how you answer it, I may have a follow-up for you. So like, what was the best thing you did in Atlantic City in 2021?
The best, like, single thing I did in Atlantic City in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did go with my wife, by the way. I went 4 times in 2021.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah,
so
of
you
course.
went one more time than I did. Oh no, did I go?
You did, right? In January or something?
Yes. So I think we went
In the prime
twice.
of COVID times?
Yeah, we went twice together and once without each other.
Oh, okay.
The best thing I did in Atlantic City. It's all just sort of running together as like a lot of the non-casino running around we did. I'm trying to think which of that was my favorite thing that we did. It's tough. It's tough, man. I mean, obviously, going and playing at the Golden Nugget.
Getting a gallon of scotch.
Getting a gallon of scotch at the Golden Nugget. That was you. That would be your number one.
Yes.
Not necessarily my number one.
Having a whiskey sour appear that you only semi-ordered. That was Dave's number one.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, what was yours?
I want to be, like, cheap and say it was all the, like, random bars we did, like Ducktown Tavern and Chelsea Pub and Inn. But I always hate it when people are like top 5 moments in such and such, and then they like group a bunch of things together. It's like, you gotta pick one thing.
So do you want me to go so you can stall for time a little more?
I think Doherty's Happy Hour is the individual highlight for me.
So I was going to say, I think my number one is Doherty's when we went. I think that was the best thing I did in 2021 that was kind of new and different for me, and the thing that I can probably recommend kind of the most highly to all of our listeners.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I will say, like, honorable mention, because we just went back last trip, the breakfast at Gilchrist's is always just phenomenal. And if you haven't done it yet, you really owe it to yourself to go get some pancakes at Gilchrist's. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the one in Gardner's Basin is a bit better, but even the one in Tropicana, it's still very, very good.
Pancakes taste totally the same to me.
Yeah, the pancakes are the same, but it's the ambiance, I think, in
yeah.
Gardner's Basin that makes it.
I agree. So this is now the actually best of 2021 episode. So I will label it.
Just one best of, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Doherty's Happy Hour was amazing. The food was great. The drinks were good. It's absolutely something I'd recommend to anyone. I think more specific to us and our sort of weirdness, like just hanging at Chelsea Pub and Inn was like so weirdly perfect for that evening. That was also really great.
The moment that Caesar's dealer walked in and without saying a word, they just handed him a shot and a beer.
Perfect.
Just perfection.
Yeah.
Just chef's kiss.
And it does really make me want to do other stuff like that. Like make sure I pop into a dive bar every trip. Like I would be disappointed if I went on a trip and I didn't make it to something of that ilk. I mean, Back Bay I went to last trip, which is not really the same, but kind of at least sort of is a local place with some flavor to it.
I will say, I think of all the places that we went kind of 2 trips ago when we went to a lot of places, I think my favorite was probably, other than Doherty's, of course, I really liked Vagabonds a lot.
Oh, Vagabond was very good.
Very good.
Yeah, I want to go back to Vagabond. We should do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's near nothing. That's the problem, but...
Look at us just reminiscing about 2021 and how great it was if you ignore all the COVID.
Is there anything that you think people should, that was a bit overrated or you would recommend people not do?
I can't think of anything that I just thought was not worth going to. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything in your mind?
Or maybe is there something that, like, you've done it now and you don't think you're going to do it again? Maybe is a better way to put it.
I don't think I necessarily need to go to Rife again. I thought it was fine. But I don't think I need to trek out there again.
Yeah, I think Rife was only okay. I mean, Rife was totally fine. I don't know if it was a nice walk, I have to say. Like, but that's like a weird praise to give to a restaurant. Like, that's not really about the restaurant so much.
It's funny you say that though, because when I think of Rife, what I think of is actually the walk and sort of being taken aback by how nice that part of town
is.
Yeah, but and it being a part of town that I hadn't been in before. And that was really the thing that stuck out to me about it. I mean, and nothing about it was bad. Like, nothing about the food was bad.
No,
I left
totally
thinking
fine.
It was very good. There's so many other places I want to try that I wouldn't make the trek back there probably.
For me, I also thought, like, in the thing that was, like, totally fine, but I don't know if it's worth the trek for me. Like, I thought Seed was totally fine, but I don't know if I need to rush back there or anything. I don't know if it's a top 10 brewery in America or whatever, like USA Today claims.
Seed has the advantage that, just by being a brewery, they bring out new beers. Mm-hmm. And that alone, to me, is like enough of a reason to check it out. But, I love Little Water and going and getting a drink at Little Water, and yet I just rarely ever do it. So, like, if I'm not going to do that, I can't see myself going to Seed more often when I prefer Little Water to Seed.
Well, I mean, you could go to both. They're
That's true.
Literally connected.
I mean, it would be the like end of my day in terms of like anything resembling sobriety.
Be very drunk.
Yeah.
It reminds me when it was the end of my day when we went to the the Atlantic City Beer Festival at like 3 p.m. and we were walking back.
You gotta do both those things, the Sea and Little Water, and then go straight to something else we did on that trip, which was Angelo's Fairmount Tavern.
That really did make it better, I think.
So we did that the night before. That needs to be right after to soak up all that booze.
And right after Angelo's, we did Ducktown, so.
Oh, that's true. Ducktown was good. I like Ducktown.
Yeah, Ducktown was surprisingly nice, I think.
Yeah, it was not as divey as I was expecting.
But I think the Seed, it was like totally fine if you want to go to a brewery. Like, it is, I'm sure, the best brewery in Atlantic City. But is it like any better than any other brewery I've been to? Like, I personally don't think so, but I'm also like notoriously whatever the opposite of snobby is, so.
It does seem a little snobby, the Seed. A little bit.
I mean, just, you could tell by the name, I think.
That's true.
A living whatever project.
Living beer project, the Seed. Yeah. So that's our look back.
Yeah, nothing was bad. I also thought that Izakaya was perhaps a little overpriced for what it was. So
I have to say I loved our 21 trips.
No, I think they were all really good.
Except I didn't play enough table games. I
mean, I think it's a little bit, because I think I remember after our first trip, I said that I didn't want to do such a long trip with only you again. But yeah, looking back on it, it was like, that was a great time.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I bore you so much, Kyle.
All right, let's get to the news. It's a very little bit of news we have.
So little. Ocean has a temporary bar called Jingle Bell Bar in the 1927 lounge space, which you will remember from formerly having a catwalk with the
ladies
walking over it in scantily clad outfits. It will probably be gone by the time this episode is posted. Well, maybe. I think its last day is January 1st. They posted some pictures of it. It's just Christmas lights everywhere. It's everything I love about things being decorated for Christmas. You know that I love the Irish pub, and they're completely over the top Christmas decorations. Biggest regret of 2021, not making it to the Irish pub. People did say that the drinks were expensive and small, so I'll say that. However, as someone who is a snob when it comes to cocktails, when people say that the drinks are small, a lot of like classic Prohibition era cocktails are small drinks. They're like 5 ounce, 4 ounce pours. So if you think that that's like a small drink and expensive, that is possibly actually a very good cocktail. If you're getting shafted on the alcohol content, then okay, I agree with you.
I had a 5 or 6 ounce pour of scotch last time I went to.
It was more than that. Yeah.
I think it was an 8 ounce cup, so I think it was probably about a 6 ounce pour.
Did you look at the pictures of the Jingle Bell Bar?
I did not, I must admit. Do you want me to click this link?
I guess.
And give you live reaction?
Yeah, let's do it.
There are no pictures. There's only a YouTube video, which I don't want to watch.
Okay.
Looks terrible, though.
I like this as an idea for Ocean, as something different for that space, because I feel like they've struggled with that space. And so I'd be interested to see if they do more of this. I have no idea what you do for, like, you know, spring fling. I don't know. It's like the Borgata, whatever it's called, you know, where all the plants are.
No. Oh, the like.
I mean, sorry, not
whatever.
The Bellagio atrium, not Borgata.
Well, Borgata has a little one too.
It does, but no, the Bellagio atrium, the conservatory. That's what it's called at the Bellagio, except just for booze, and much smaller. I think that should be what they aim for at Ocean. Every season, it just changes, really over the top. If I can get some animatronics, I'd be happy about that.
You need to get some mechanical something in there.
Yeah, I think you have to. And then just change it every season. I think that would be a great idea. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure it'll just go entirely back to what it was before. But
not actually back to what it was before, because there will be no scantily clad women.
Yeah, no, not before. Like very recently before the 1927 lounge. The other thing at Ocean, Serendipity 3 is coming in spring 2022. I don't know if you know anything about Serendipity 3.
I've never heard of such a thing.
When I lived in...
It's a movie, right?
When I lived in Manhattan. When I lived in New York City, it was like a big, big deal. Serendipity 3, they had frozen hot chocolate, and it was like a huge thing.
Isn't that just like chocolate ice cream?
Not quite. It's like a hot chocolate Slurpee or something.
So it's like a frappe.
Yeah. So they opened one in Vegas. It had been in front of Caesars, I think. It was there for a while. It closed. And now they're going to open one at Ocean.
It's going to close, right?
It could do well. I don't know. It depends where they put it. From Ocean's Facebook, Serendipity 3, home of the world-famous frozen hot chocolate. I don't know why it needs 3 R's. Maybe that's actually what it is. Will offer a one-of-a-kind dining experience, transporting guests into a fantasy world filled with great food and dream-sized desserts.
So what size exactly is a dream-sized dessert?
I don't know. It's got to be at least as big as what's at the Sugar Factory at Hard Rock, I think. You can't be right, 2 doors down from Hard Rock and then be serving smaller shit than the Sugar Factory.
I'll make a prediction. Those are 2 places I will never go. Serendipity 3 or the Sugar Factory.
These are the type of places, like, I love touristy crap.
You do, yes.
Yeah, and these are the type of places that I'm always in my head, like, I would love to go there. Like, just, like the 5-year-old kid in me really wants to go, and it just never happens. Like, I'm never going to Sugar Factory. I'm never going to this place. But I think it's neat. It's like a very different thing for Ocean. I'm glad that they're getting something new. I'd be very interested to see how it does. I think it's a better idea than Cereal Town, as much as it pains me to say. I don't know if it's going to be, like, life-changing or anything.
Prince of Monaco cereal, that's what they didn't have.
That's true. They had, like, Fruit Loops and Cookie Crisp, and they
with that. They should have hired me.
They should have. That's pretty much the whole moral of the podcast, is they should have hired us to consult.
So while you're talking about whatever, what I was doing is thinking of more questions to ask you. So what casino do you think in 2022 are you most likely to not step foot in Atlantic City?
Bally's.
So step foot in. You don't think you'll step foot in Bally's? I would say if it's like stay the night at, it's like the obvious choice and like it's unimpeachably correct, but
step foot in. Yeah, just by being on the boardwalk kind of.
Right, it's like right in the middle, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I liked spending time at Golden Nugget, but probably Golden Nugget just in terms of, I'm probably not going to get comped rooms there. I'm not going to like go out of my way to go to Golden Nugget. So I don't know. I mean,
I don't like either of those options, I think. Well, I do like one of them a little bit. I think that the 2 choices are probably, for me, either Bally's or Trop, because if you don't end up staying at Trop, there's not really much of a reason to go down there, I don't think.
Trop is very far from everything.
It's quite far.
I do get good rates at Trop now, though, so I feel like it makes it more likely that I'll end up there.
That's true, especially if it's a boardwalk trip. Because you don't get good rates at Caesars, and Harrah's certainly is not on the boardwalk.
Right.
If you're going to be taking an Uber at the end of the night anyway, is Trop any different than Harrah's, frankly? And you'd just much rather be at Harrah's, right?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, like I'm not sure. Yeah, Trop is now so far from everything that I'm just not. I mean, I do like walking the boardwalk, so I'll say that. Like if it's in the summer or the spring when the weather's going to be nice, I would probably choose Trop pretty clearly just because I would walk it. Like I wouldn't take an Uber. Mm-hmm. But certainly, if it's going to be January, February, November, December, no, if I was given those 2 options, I would pick Harrah's. And figure like it doesn't keep me from doing anything on the boardwalk to be at Harrah's. That, so like say I want to go to Orange Loop and go to like the new pizza place on the Orange Loop. It's not any easier to do that from Tropicana than it is from Harrah's.
And like, here's the real tiebreaker for me personally when it comes to just gambling or whatever. When I think of like the inside of the Park Place, I'm like, yeah, that's a cool place. Like, I really enjoy spending time there or whatever. And when I think about the inside of Trop, I'm like, oh, that's not good.
It's really frustrating for me with Trop because I like
they've got good restaurants.
So
and
many
stuff.
other things. Yeah, I liked Cuba Libre. I know that you had your, can't bring your girlfriend.
I've never been because I was denied entry.
I really like the Quarter. There's other things I like about Tropicana. But just like the gambling there, when I think of sitting down at a machine or a table there, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm not sure that I think I feel that way more about Tropicana than I feel about any other casino in Atlantic City, which is crazy. Cause I like Tropicana.
Yeah. So what casino do you think you're going to spend the most time in 2021?
I want to say Hard Rock.
Hard Rock?
Because I like it the most, but I don't get great rates there. In 2021, I think it was probably Ocean.
Or 2022, if I said 2021.
Right.
Yeah, it was probably Ocean for you.
In 2022. And I certainly don't like Ocean the best of any of the casinos.
The rooms are nice.
Yeah, they are. If they would clean them better, that would be a perk. I'm going to stick with Hard Rock, if only because my next trip is probably going to be Hard Rock, so it's kind of like cheating a little bit. But I don't know. I mean, having the Caesars comps weirdly makes Harrah's like significantly more likely than I ever would have thought.
Right? The thing with Caesars comps is it kind of pushes you to the marina, right? Because Caesars and Trop are so shitty.
I don't love Harris or anything, but I did like popping over to Golden Nugget. You can walk from
Pop
Harris.
over to the boardwalk, yeah.
You can walk from Harris to Borgata, yeah. So, or you can just drive very quickly to Borgata. So I like that. Like, yeah, I don't know. I see the benefits of being at a marina property more than I used to, I think.
Yeah.
So my guess would probably be Hard Rock and then maybe second Harris, which is a very big change, obviously, since I hadn't been in Harris since 2017. What about you? What do you think your number one most likely?
Probably resorts.
Oh, I forgot about resorts. I don't get any deals there.
I get 7-day-a-week comps.
Yeah.
Like, I had New Year's Eve comps this year, so like it seems like I'm going to be comped 100% there. So
yeah, if I had resorts comps, I would probably say resorts just because I like resorts a lot. And it's connected to Hard Rock. Like, it has so much going for it.
We'll wait and see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen with Golden Nugget. If I get a ton of comps there, too, that could be a dark horse pick, because I did really enjoy my time there last trip. And Ocean's always a possibility, too, just because, and again, it's the main thing is just, like, I get such good comps there, so.
I kind of like thinking about this, where we're not just stuck in our same home base forever, where we're like, okay, well, 2022, maybe we're just going to totally go off the rails, and it's going to be Golden Nugget or Harrah's instead of all this time that we've spent. Because for so long, it was like Bally's,
Bally's and Caesars.
And then it was Showboat, which was still, it's still Caesars. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's nice to kind of have this very different options. I mean, even resorts, like, it would be nice. I wish I got resorts comps, but maybe I should play something there other than full pay bonus poker.
Next trip.
Can't do it.
All right, let's get to November data quickly, and then maybe I'll have one or two more questions for you. So we have the results from November. Just to give you, I guess, the brief rundown, November was a reasonably solid month, I guess. Way, way, way up on November of last year, which is not a huge surprise, but, 41% up. It was down about $30 million from October of this year, which I think that's probably a pretty normal downturn in October, though actually looking at past years, a lot of times November is pretty even with October, which is strange seeming to me.
Well, we want 5-day weekend and 5-weekend month in October of 21.
So yeah, that's true. That's probably a lot of that, actually. So it's probably more like a $10 million a month if you're correct for that. So yeah, pretty similar, I think. The big winner was Borgata at $48 million, and then Hard Rock at 37, and Ocean at 28. And then the last place was Resorts at 12, followed by Golden Nugget at basically 12 as well, 11.9, and Bally's at 11.1. So
I didn't think anything was really all that notable in this. I mean, Borgata, even though it was number one, had a pretty big drop from the last 2 months where they were raking in 60 million plus a year. So they're dropping down to 48.3. Whereas Hard Rock and Ocean were much more stable month over month. But for the most part, it was just a lot of the same to me. I mean, it's a lot. I think it goes right along with what we've seen the last few months, and it seems fine. Seems pretty good. So I don't have too much to say about the data, actually.
No, I think it's another solid month. Like I said, these things tend to change slowly, and the waves tend to, last a little while. But this is just kind of a pretty solid month, it seems like to me. So,
do you think we'll see the effects of Omicron in December?
I guess it's really been a big deal for like the past 10 days, more or less, where it's really front of mind. Because even like the weekend you got infected, like it was there, but I don't think it was impacting behavior too much. But certainly like Christmas and now at New Year's, like it is, I think. So
yeah, I think the thing that would be really damaging is people are backing out of New Year's. And
certainly New York and New Jersey are two of the hardest states. So it's possible. It's possible you could see a pretty bad December and January maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I'm optimistic about short disruption here. So we'll hope for that at the very least.
So before we close it up, Craig, I think I have one more question, or maybe not a question, but an implorement for you. Surely we can just do a one-night trip sometime soon.
Soon? What is soon?
Before we go to beautiful Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that would be tough.
Oh, come on, man.
That's like 5 weeks away.
Yeah. 6 weeks. 7 weeks. 7 weeks away.
I'm highly skeptical.
What are you doing the next 7 weekends?
I mean, one of those weekends I should be in Atlantic City.
Fair.
So
if you go to Atlantic City without me, I think that's acceptable. That counts.
Yeah, that should happen. Either one of the last 2 weeks of January, assuming everything else cooperates in terms of rescheduled Christmas and stuff. So I expect I will definitely be there before our Lancaster trip.
Maybe I will just be there as well. Just happen to run into you a bunch of times.
You'll be at Nugget though. We'll be at Hard Rock. So
that's fair. That's fair.
We won't even see you. Just tell Megan, like, yeah, I'm meeting Craig at Atlantic City. It's going to be great.
Yeah, me and Craig are going to Atlantic City. It's 100% true.
It's accurate. Entirely accurate. Yeah.
You disappoint me.
Sorry.
How can we get in 5 trips if we don't go in January or February?
That's true.
And what do you have to worry about? Literally nothing now.
I know. I should be packing in as many trips as I can over the next 90 days or so.
Yeah, before there's like whatever is after Omicron, Sigma or something.
Yeah. Slicking all the slot machines. Sweet slot machine buttons.
Delicious slots. So tasty. All right. Anyway, if you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners, you can do so at our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/doforwin. Find all of our great content and buy a shirt at doforwin.com. Reach out to Craig on Twitter at doforwin or me at Kyle Askin, or send Craig a question at doforwin@gmail.com, and maybe we'll even read and possibly answer it poorly on air.
Poorly?
Any last words? What? Who said that?
I still have one email I haven't responded to. I feel bad about it.
Is it one we should answer on air next time?
No, it's not an on-air question.
All right, fine.
Yeah. Sorry to that person.
Yes, listeners, you all disappoint me, though. No, not enough on-air questions.
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire.
We actually watched it.
Can you give me the Cliff's notes?
Sure.
Like these notes you have are too long. Give me the Cliff notes.
Really quickly, the latest. Eli's kid who, killed that guy by shooting to death. He pinned that on his roommate, poor nerdy roommate.
Poor Clayton.
Jimmy's mom is all drugged out and offering to suck everyone's dick either for heroin or to get custody of Tommy. It was a little weird. She's in bad shape.
The guy from Office Space seems like kind of into it, so.
Oh, yeah, that was weird. Eddie, Nucky's right-hand man, we saw him get pulled in by the FBI, and we didn't think he was going to give them much information, but he did crack because we find out that he's left Germany as a thief and with a mistress, and then he comes and he gives them some basic information, and then he goes home and kills himself. So that was the end of Eddie. Frank Capone, who for some reason we're supposed to care about, gets shot literally 1 billion times, and there was nothing about Narcisse or Florida, which seemed like they were the big plots of the season until now.
I have to say, having no Narcisse was like a nice change, because Narcisse gets on my nerves.
He's kind of annoying.
Which is, I think, intentional. So
yes, that's his job.
Sort of.
Yeah, no, I think that guy's a good actor.
Oh yeah, no. He's like an interesting character, but he's like also annoying. He's like a bit too good at being his character,
which is way more than you can say for Jip, who was like a super annoying character, and also not interesting at all.
Most of the episode, I think, was, I guess it was, 3 ways. One was Eli and Nucky, one was Eddie, and then one was Chicago.
Yeah.
But watching the Eddie stuff happen, the whole episode, I'm like, there's no outcome of this that could make any sense, I think, for Eddie's character or whatever, until he jumps out the window at the end. And then I'm like, okay, that actually, that seems right to me. So I was happy to see that. It was a somewhat satisfying conclusion to, I guess, that line. As
soon as I saw him writing a note in German, I was like, he's killing himself. That's the end of that.
No, I didn't get it. I was too slow.
And then he jumped out a window. Foolishly, I was thinking, nobody's died in this episode. I totally forgot about Frank Capone, as one does.
1 trillion times.
Because, you asked me offline, did we even know who Frank Capone was before this?
Yeah.
Was he in it?
Well, he was in some episodes, but I don't think until this episode, I realized he was Al's brother. One of Al's brothers, since the other one was talking to Eddie or whatever, and...
Yeah, it seems like they're really trying to set up the Al's brothers sort of dynamic, and how they relate, I guess, to Mueller. But I don't see that
certainly.
So far.
Al seems like a psychopath, and it seemed like Frank was a decent person with decent ideas, unlike Al, who has no good ideas and is just a psychopath.
Oh yeah, I guess presumably the end result here is going to be nobody has Al's, is going to be telling Al to keep to his senses, and now he's just going to be completely going batshit insane.
Well, what's his name is still kicking around, right? He's not gone yet.
The other
Al's
brother?
old boss. No.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Torrio.
Yes. Oh, wow. I actually pulled the name out. I can't believe it. We're so used to talking in like I still don't know Eli's kid's name. I don't know. They said it 100 times.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know.
I don't have too much to add. Like, I didn't have that many thoughts about this episode or where this is going. It seemed like it's just setting up more. I feel like the show sort of like everything happens in like the last 2 episodes of a season.
And he killed himself.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. Like, a main person, a person who's been in the show has to die every episode. Like, that certainly has to happen. But as far as like the main plots involving the main characters, like it all comes together in the last 2 episodes, I feel like every season. So, I don't know. I mean, I did notice when Eddie got back to Nucky's after he gets interrogated, there's a sign that says Atlantic City real estate lots for sale.
Yes, I
in
did
the background.
see that.
I was just like, yeah, that's what I
want
want.
to get a beachfront property in Atlantic City.
I know, I was very jealous. That's what I wanted. So that stuck out to me, but nothing else in the episode really did.
When did Nucky move to move out of the Ritz or whatever, by the way?
They mentioned it, but I can't remember when.
Huh.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Didn't stick out to me.
Well, anyway, thank you guys very much for listening. I hope that you have and continue to have a healthy Christmas and New Year's, unlike Craig. And, hopefully we'll talk to you guys very soon in 2022.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be like our shortest episode ever.
No, it's like pretty long.
It is.
I think it was like an hour, right?
Yes,
It was fine. There's probably some shit you could cut out, but I know you have like 12 kids at home or whatever, so you do what you gotta do.
People want that extra long year-end episode. That's what they want. They're like, the only thing I wanted for Christmas is an extra long 2 for a win.
Yeah.